Okay, so I know this isn't really a fact, but I plan on doing more of this channel other than just facts because I also want to make sort of discussion videos as well. Because that's kind of what this channel was before I made it Factosaur. And for all of you wondering why stop trends are dumb, I'll make a video on that shortly. Plus, since this is a channel about facts, I'll try to get more videos out. I plan to do a lot more stuff with this channel in the near future, but for now, welcome to Reviewer That's a terrible name. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the much anticipated sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy, which came out in 2014. James Gunn directed it, and he's also directing Volume 2. The first movie was a big hit. It was probably the weirdest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, and provided action, laughs, and a whole bunch of 80s songs. It had a likable cast, and everyone was eagerly awaiting the sequel. So, does Volume 2 deliver? In my opinion, it does, and I actually like it a whole lot more than the first one. This movie does what you expect. It expands upon everything in the first movie and does it a whole lot better. The movie came out a couple days in Australia, which is where I live, but I saw it a bit earlier, and I'd say that everyone in the cinema laughed at least more than once. The comedy in this movie really works because it plays out the characters and the personalities really well. Everyone in the main cast comes back again. We have all the original Guardians being Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Baby Groot. Plus we have a new Guardian being Mantis. She's this alien with antennas that can feel people's emotions and can make them go to sleep. We also have some minor characters that return and they have been expanded on a whole lot, these being Yondu and Nebula. And another new character which some people may consider to be a spoiler, but I don't since he is shown in the trailer and he appears early on in the movie, is Star-Lord's dad, Ego, played by Kurt Russell. I think one of the biggest things that they wanted to do with this movie was to develop the characters more, which they certainly did. Star-Lord gets to experience what having a father is like, which is really great to see on screen. Rocket builds a strong friendship with Yondu, and Drax has a very humorous relationship with Mantis. The only Guardian that I felt could have been written better was Gamora and Baby Groot, but with Baby Groot he's kind of excused because he acts as the comedic relief, and he's very funny. Gamora on the other hand, she doesn't really do much except have a few moments with Nebula, who got a whole lot more development in this movie. I really like how they focus a lot on the side characters, Yondu and Nebula, especially Yondu. I found him kind of annoying in the first movie, but I liked him so much more in this one. He's given a really good character arc and he has an awesome scene of Rocket and Groot that is just so fun to watch. And I honestly think it's a nod to Fox's Quicksilver scenes in the X-Men movies. Another character that got a lot more screen time was Kraglin, played by Sean Gunn. What? You don't know who he is? He's Yondu's first mate! Still don't know? He's this guy, right here. I don't know why, but I love Kraglin so much as a character. I love how he was just a character in the background in the first movie, and now he has a lot more screen time. There's a mid-credit scene involving Kraglin, and I doubt it, but I hope it's hitting at him becoming a Guardian, because I think that would just be such a great thing for them to do. Speaking of mid-credit scenes, there are 4 in this movie. Yeah, that's a lot. The majority of them are just joke scenes, and there's one that relates to the whole cinematic universe, but I won't spoil it for you guys. I want to take a second and talk about the villain of this movie. I won't spoil it for you because he isn't shown in the trailers, but in case you don't know, Marvel has had a long history of not having great villains. A lot of them are just forgettable, and the only really well done one is Loki. The villain in this movie is written well, and in my opinion, he is the best villain since Loki, and a great improvement over the first movie's villain. I can't even remember his name, he's that forgettable. Now this movie's been getting a lot more hate from critics than I think it deserves, but this movie isn't without its flaws. Other than Gamora, which I already talked about, the movie's flow is a bit strange at certain points, it jumps around a lot, and villain's plan to take over the universe is just a bit weird and confusing. I feel like it was kind of just shoved in there. Now this may be seen as nitpicking, whilst the majority of this movie had really great CGI, there are some moments that look a bit off. Like at one point Gamora does a jump and it's really bad because she doesn't even bend her legs or anything, and she kind of just takes off into the air. As well as some dodgy CGI, I think there are a few reused shots. I'm not entirely sure about that, so don't quote me on it. Something I was happy with was the climax. Honestly, I really didn't enjoy the climax of the first movie. I found it very boring and anticlimactic. I wanted to have this movie's climax be a whole lot better, which it was. It has really cool action scenes and some emotional parts in it, as well as some comedy. I think the climax in this movie is better than the one in the last Marvel movie, Doctor Strange, which was kind of just meh to me. Overall, I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 a whole lot more than I thought I would. It stands alone well enough and has a lot more rewatchability than something like Captain America Civil War, in my opinion at least. I actually liked Volume 2 more than the first one just because it expands upon everything much better, especially the characters. Now, I'm not really going to be rating these movies with a number or a letter, but instead I'll be ranking them against other movies I review. But since it's the first movie, there is nothing I can rank it against. So for this time, I'll rank it against last year's superhero movies from Marvel, Fox, and DC. I just want to say thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.